Brandy, what you doing?
I'm recovering. I did all this reading on the cruise. I read lots.
Some Irish folk tales and some fiction 100. Interesting. Well, sounds like reading recovery. Did you do that back in the day?
No, what is that?
Well, let's go ask Mrs. Kelder and she'll let us know.
Okay.
Here we are with Mrs. Kelder, the teacher of reading recovery here at Margaretville Central. What is reading recovery?
Well, reading recovery is a reading program for children who are in first grade for a short time, only 12 to 20 weeks, and it helps them get started in reading. They're the children who are a little bit at risk for learning to read, and it gives them the boost they need to get started.
All right. What grades is reading recovery geared for?
Well, it's only for first grade. I know parents sometimes wish it was for second, but it's been designed and used in first grade very successfully through the years, and it's not a full year program, but it is an individual program.
Okay. When did reading recovery start here at Margaretville Central?
Well, here in Margaretville Central School, we began in 1995-96. The first teachers who were trained were Mrs. Diane Oles and Mrs. Vicki Sweeney. And then the following year, I trained with Mrs. Joan Reardon from Ron. So we're actually in our 14th year here.
Who else in the school districts around here use reading recovery?
A lot of the area schools use reading recovery or have used reading recovery. When we gather in Kingston for our professional development, there are teachers from schools all over these counties. Kingston is kind of the hub. The nearest one is Roxbury, as I said.
How long have you been teaching them reading recovery to first graders?
Well, I've been teaching 13 of the 14 years.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about reading recovery?
Yes. As for any reading program or any program at all, it's always good to have it reviewed and to find out the effectiveness of the program. And reading recovery, among others, has been evaluated by the United States Department of Education through the What Works Clearinghouse. The most recent time that reading recovery was evaluated was just this past year. And the report in December indicated that this is still the only beginning reading program to receive readings across the 4 areas that are evaluated. Those are alphabetics and fluency and comprehension and general reading achievement. So reading recovery is actually #1 in general reading achievement of all programs in the United States for this age child.
Now, where did reading recovery start?
It was started in New Zealand by a woman named Mari Clay. She was the founder, and she had studied many aspects of learning to understand how children learn as well as how they learn to read. And she began this a few decades ago. It's now worldwide.
Well, thank you for teaching us about reading recovery, and we learned a lot of stuff today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.